The Diary of a Certified Psychopath, the 26th of August, 2021. The Green and Field. The title perhaps masking a cunning ruse to forego a tediously long-winded description of a ride that was always destined to be its predecessor's mirror image. Our profoundly learned precipitation prophets predicted a 50% chance of descending water droplets at 10 a.m, when I glanced at my weather app just after dawn. Following a 2-hour lie-in, I double-checked to find that this had been revised to an all-clear outlook, with temperatures touching the high teens throughout the morning. So, did I dream that algorithmically generated, professionally certified and 100% dependable forecast? Or is this a case of astronomically well-financed meteorologists doing what amounts to deceitfully correcting erroneous exam answers and coursework before it is sent for formal grading? My eyes spied a distinctly overcast sky, whilst my touch receptors detected a decidedly nagging north wind. So, why try to fix what will only break you further? Pack up, jump on, but please, to clip in is sin, so under no circumstances do that. And away we casually doth cruise. Coombs Road was an utter kludge into our friend from the north, which was again flaunting disturbingly fiendish undertones. Salutations, Mr. David Stakes, and a strip of destructively gritty surface dressing whilst bound for Partridge Green compelled me to stop over suspicions of a rear puncture. Thankfully, it was just my sudden sag of pace. Then, just as suddenly, my left Bluetooth earbud, the right stays pocketed other than on exceedingly tame trundles about town, decided autonomously to enter hear-through mode, which activates the IEM's external microphone and is essentially the functional opposite of noise cancelling. This duly amplified a moderate breeze into a howling hurricane inside my already windswept mind. I attempted to reset the connection with several furious prods, which merely caused the headset's robotic welcome message to play on a loop, and grotesquely out of tune with the wind. I ultimately ground to a grudging halt, consigning the offending bud to my backpack alongside its partner, and resumed my journey sans podcast. Nasty Northie persisted dishing out the pain all the way to Partridge Green's idyllic high street, where I exchanged smiles and waves with a gaggle of gregarious mountain bikers, and took on some refreshments at the bakery I'd discovered yesterday. Having endured half a loop's worth of block headwind, I had hoped for some respectfully gusty assistance throughout my voyage home, though what had felt like due north up until my U-turn south promptly proved to be a dirty double-crosser. Shunned a clash of principles in favour of a Snickers brownie and an espressively fine fix of caffeine at my newly discovered guilty pleasure, the Fuel Stop Cafe, before taking the TT's express route back to Shoreham to shed a parcel and load up with rations. Daily quota fulfilled in an outing partially marred by cheating atmospherics and cutting-edge technology, yet still worth every pedal stroke. The 27th of August, 2021. An old faithful on a new friend. Our digital meteorologists anticipate no deviation for the third day running. A stout and gusty northerly, precipitation and temperatures allegedly approaching my operating window, which for reference is between 20 and 30 degrees, assuming an absence of wind chill. Given that the majority of what I'd thought would be a cannily coordinated exercise in draft dodging was spent hunched double into a headwind, and having been forced to omit the seaside resort of Goring, my western extremity, I decided to rectify matters today with a time-honoured traditional loop that remained somewhat closer to the coast. Surfed the Downs link as far as Beeding this time, smiling broadly as I felt my beloved Niner's plush suspension subtly engage. I theorised that its gravel pedigree, combined with the protection I was afforded by the trail's surrounding corridor of bushes and foliage in fullest bloom, would make this a faster choice overall compared to the main drag's admittedly smoother and less resistant surface, but with a much stronger headwind to battle. Indeed, it almost felt as though I cheated the elements for a change. Proceeding out of Beeding, I ambled down the A283, past the grand and historic Grade 1 listed stately structure of Whiston House, over a succession of rollers, and up a now delisted Strava segment, the Pike, a short, sharp quadbuster of approximately half a kilometre and dispensable in less than a minute by a peak form fast twitcher. Left and right bends, an up that feels like a down, and then another left into Washington, whose White House was conspicuous by its absence. Seriously, this tranquil rural gem is ensconced on the east side of the A24, a handful of kilometres adrift of its larger and better-known neighbour, Storrington, and is indeed significantly scaled down compared to its transatlantic namesake, playing proud host to a traditional and roundly acclaimed public house, itself offering a broad range of authentic locally sourced ales and appropriately countrified cuisine, alongside an array of opulent residences. The village is separated from its bypass by a substantial acreage of thick forestry, which serves doubly as a practical and wholly organic soundproofing from rush hour traffic. I ascended its bumpy but benign bostel, roughly a kilometre in length with a consistent 3 to 5% incline, and sheltered by a towering tunnel of whispering woodland that rustles gentle words of encouragement to the rider, along with comforting reassurance of no steep stings guarding its summit. Re-emerging onto the A24, I was, at last, aided by a proper tailwind all the way down to Worthing's upper suburbs. Hello there, Long Chock. This particular stretch in such conditions munches miles like no other, and the sense of sheer exhilaration it arouses is a joy to revel in throughout all seasons, and most especially during the dead of night, when clear roads and favourable lights can facilitate a high-velocity blast straight to the coast. Passed through Goring's diligently maintained and thoughtfully appointed town centre, precisely as planned, but didn't pause for another pick due to pending duties and a dwindling time frame. Huffed homeward east along the seafront, taking to the Cychopath between Worthing and Lancing to avoid a tailback induced by domestic refuse collection. Sundry chores, stimulating libation, and a sticky honey-glazed slice of baked rolled oats and raisins, aka a flapjack, at Shoreham's Beach Bakery, rounded off a productive outing with every challenge stipulation met. It also felt most rewarding to reacquaint myself with a tried and trusted route that I shall no doubt be heavily reliant upon during the colder coming months.